when they ask us to stand, we're not going to stand. I mean, like I said, if you're not, if I'm not interpreting it all as quite the production. Now, is this for all of Toledo or just one part of the district?
That was good. You just need some patience. Okay.
I could see that without my glasses. Presenting, if they're not used to it, some of them will speak rather
Good evening. We'll be starting our board meeting roughly around 5 more minutes. We're a little behind, but we'll be starting about 5 more minutes. Thank you.
It's not the end of the world. I would say channel your inner knowledge. Everybody wants to be led, except the other something. These like high school students running the least. Because what? Really? That's amazing. Man, they're smarter than I was. Smarter than you were. They keep getting younger and younger too.
That's 18. When I saw that, I was
Romulus. No, we're on an education campus. I guess I could go with
it's bad habits for me.
this could go with my Dr. Stone. Can defend it. So, it's fine. Aye. This is the most help I've ever had. This is the most help I've ever had in any gym. Usually, here's your. How long have I done this? 32 years.
Yeah, it was down to road class. Yeah, we should be good, but if they want it up loud, I'll just sneak over here, tweak it up a little bit until I hear this.
I'm looking forward to getting back.
That's it.
Good afternoon. I apologize for the delay. I had a snafu with my car keys. I had to get myself here, rushing at the last minute. So let's go ahead and call our Tuesday, December 20th, 2022 meeting to order. Actually, before we call our meeting to order, we usually like to observe a moment of silence to reflect on the epidemic of violence in our community, the lives lost to violence, and to those impacted by the systemic oppression and racism that we are experiencing in our communities. Now we can call our meeting to order. Mr. Treasurer, if you could call the roll.
Mr. Parker,
Present.
Mrs. Barwin,
Here.
Mr. Vasquez. Here. Ms. Barnes,
Present.
Mrs. Gerken.
Here. We should enjoy the Old Orchard Elementary students leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance at this time. Thank you. And Dr. Durant, if you could lead us off with the mission and vision statement, please.
Yes, TPS mission to produce competitive college and career-ready graduates with rigorous curriculum across all grade levels, implementing Ohio learning standard with fidelity. Vision statement is to strive to be an A-rated school district whose graduates are college and career ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Durant. I think that brings us to section 2 for the presentations for this evening.
I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Myers.
Thank you, Dr. Durant. We have one special presentation this evening being presented by State Representative Ms. Sabecki.
That's a little strange being on the other side of the diocese here. And thank you all for allowing me a few moments of time this evening to come before you. As I'm transitioning out of my office, this will be my last official piece of work that I'll be doing through my office, and that is recognizing a very, very special friend of mine, board member, Christine Varwig. A little bit of a background. Chris and I have known each other for, I think, since our kids were about knee high to a table, and we had worked many years around parent involvement within the school district. Both of us had had the opportunity to serve with each other on the school board, and now my good friend is going to be representing Toledo Public Schools, Northwest Ohio, as the president of the Ohio School Boards Association, starting in January as their president. This is a huge honor as someone that served as a trustee member with OSBA, had gone to Washington, D.C. to advocate on behalf of the federal side of school funding to bring back things to our state and to our school districts. I know that this work that Chris is going into has not come lightly. She has spent many hours going to meetings, having many phone conversations, many trips down to Columbus, probably more than I have, to partake in activities around education. And I should not forget to, I'd be very bad of me to not acknowledge the fact that when there would be items that would be coming up before a committee I would sit on would be primary, secondary education. I could always call any one of these current school board members, and they would answer the call on behalf of what is right for public education. For the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity that Sheeta Barnes has came down and testified in committee, and Chris Varwig has too as well. But with that, though, I wanted to come before you all, and as my last act, before I go into my next act, is to present Chris with a little something from my office, and I will just read it, a little piece of it. It says, throughout her tenure as a member of Toledo Public School Board, Chris has displayed an inspiring passion for public education and the well-being for our future generations. The self-sacrifice and dedication that has guided her and while on the Toledo Public School Board will without doubt help her succeed in her new role or in her new endeavors. The wealth of knowledge and experience she brings to the table will strengthen the Ohio School Board Association and help to improve the organization's goals of providing superior, let me say that again, superior service, unwavering advocacy, and creative solutions. And this is exactly what my good friend Chris Varwig has done on her time at Toledo Public School Board, and she's going to be taking that on the road and going across the state. And so it's my pleasure to present this to Chris Varwig, along with a challenge coin, because she has come up through the challenges that anything that is thrown in her lap, she has taken this challenge on without hesitation, because it's not about her. It was about the we. It was about the kids. It was how we were going to continue to be able to strengthen public education. So with that, Chris, I thank you and congratulations, and look forward to working with you in your new capacity as the OSBA president of 2023.
We're gonna want a picture. So if you want to go get one, then we go come and help out.
Good job, Chris.
All right, thank you, everyone. That was a great presentation, and I think we still have one more.
Yes, we have two retirees to recognize this evening. Trudy Roselle, grade 6 at McTighe, 35 years and 5 months. If you are here, would you please come forward? No? Okay. And Bonnie Porter, deaf and hearing impaired teacher, 33 years. Would you come forward if you are here? No? All right, thank you. That is all we have this evening, with the exception of they have worked 68.5 years with the district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. This brings us to section 3, which is the community comments. I will ask the treasurer to go over our policy and timing for community comments, and then the board will recognize our speakers to come forward.
The board values the input of citizens and community members regarding all aspects of the district. The board understands that education is the center of all community issues and activities, and that input is important because it allows the board to hear all views on all matters. In order to ensure a quality public comment portion during board meetings, all citizens and community members who are scheduled to speak before the board shall abide by these general rules. 1, each speaker has 3 minutes, unless modified by the board president. 2, the time will be displayed for the speaker and public to see. The treasurer will announce when time has expired. 3, any questions that speakers would like responses to should be submitted in writing, and the board president will secure answers within a reasonable time frame, normally 7 to 10 days, depending on the amount of research required to provide a comprehensive response and the time-sensitive nature of the question. 4, board members will not engage in policy dialogue with speakers, but will use their established committee format to have a substantive dialogue. The public comment section is the opportunity for the board to listen to all citizens and community members and make contact with the speakers following the meeting for individual feedback and questions. The general guidelines are established as a way to provide the maximum opportunity for board members to listen to citizens and community members and provide an organized and structured procedure for feedback that will help our students and families.
Thank you. The board recognizes our first person for community comments, which is Ms. Anne Marie Aldapi. Ms. Aldapi, are you present for your presentation? No? You don't see her? Okay. Make sure. Okay, then next, is it Ms. Tina Roberts or Ms. Marcia Hill? Are they tag teaming? Are they sharing the 3 minutes? What are you doing here, Ms. Hill? You don't know. You're just coming up. Okay. All right, good to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you. I'm just going to reiterate a couple things that I did the last time I was here, and we'll go a little further to the timeline that I have, if that's okay. I'm going to stand up. With a reminder, Dorsey Corps organization has been holding our annual neighborhood reunion at the 3117 Nebraska Avenue location, once the home of our elementary alma mater, Ryder Elementary School. Our affection for this property at 3117 Nebraska Avenue did not just become relevant in the last few months. This property holds generations of memories. Just in my family household with 8 children dates back to 1956, the year the school first opened, with my eldest sister leaving Lincoln Elementary and entering Ryder Elementary, and 6 more of us followed. The Dorsey Corps organization met with Mr. Gant prior to October 18th, 2022, and we fervently expressed our wishes to purchase the property at 3117 Nebraska, the former location of our beloved Ryder Elementary School. And I am not using this descriptive for dramatics. My first grade experience was awesome, only because of my teacher. My relationship with Miss Marshall showed me through example that there was no difference between Black and white people. This was during the Kennedy and Martin Luther King era. Around the date of October 18th, 2022, meeting with Mr. Gant, he quoted a $90,000 selling price. Through phone conversations with board members on or about November 8th, Mr. Gant was now quoted as saying the asking price was $180,000. Around the 20th of November, the Dorsey Corps Association deposited into an escrow account the total amount asked, $180,000. At this point, our board member's attorney was communicating with TPS attorneys, and Mr. Gant was fully aware of this. On Tuesday, November 29th, Dorsey Corps organization was granted an audience with TPS Board. At that time, we stated our plan for the property, which I will reiterate. Our goal is to create a welcoming green space that encourages health and wellness. There will be a shelter erected along with picnic tables, benches, a walking trail, a designated space for a community garden, and an all-inclusive play area, equipment with swings, slides, etc. I'm also thinking it's important to also mention there is a daycare center directly across the street from the property in question, so daily use will be positive. To ensure our vision.
Ms. Hill, your 3 minutes is up.
Are you kidding? So what happens?
It goes quick and we move to the next speaker.
Are you kidding?
That was your 3-minute timer.
Okay, so would you guys be willing to give me 2 more minutes and I can get to the point? Because I heard you say that in the rules, if you guys see fit, you would give me a few more minutes.
Do you want to give us a copy of your comments? And then that way we can see all of it? That will be, and we could actually, if you have it, we could actually have someone make the copy for us. But we want to move to the next speaker so that we can give him his 3 minutes as well.
Okay, well, can I ask if we could officially submit an application to buy the property, because we haven't even been given that.
So you want us to answer a question about,
Well, there hasn't been anything officially done with us as being serious group to acquire the property.
so Dr. Durant, you'll make sure someone follows up with that question? Okay. So we'll make that an official question. Dr. Durant can follow up, and we'll be happy to take the rest of your comments in writing.
Okay, so is there a way I can get in contact with you?
Yeah, if you give Ms. Jordan, she'll give me your contact information and I'll go from there.
The board recognizes Mr. Johnny Hobbs. Mr. Treasurer, is it possible to have the timer on the screen so that the speaker can see their time? Okay. Usually we have it on the screen. I apologize. We will make sure it goes on the screen now. He had the timer going. He just didn't project it for you.
Okay, did you guys receive a letter from Senator Haywood also supporting this?
We're going to move on to the next speaker, and any questions you have, if you want to submit them in writing, we'll be happy to make sure you get an answer very quickly. Mr. Johnny Hobbs, should I say Councilman Hobbs?
I got my own 3 minutes, so don't worry about it.
Welcome, sir. Good to see
I
you.
want to say good evening to the board members, to our CEO. I am an employee of TPS. I'm an instructor at the Barber College. So Mr. Vasquez and I have worked before at a board at the zoo. Of course, Bishop Parker and I have worked together on a ton of events. Machina Barnes, Dr. Durant, Mr. Barwig has been helping me with some things. I want to say that I'm asking you all, thank you for the time that you're taking to listen, Ms. Gerken, Also, I'm asking you all to please consider this property for the community. We have lost so many green spaces in the community, in Toledo, in the central city. We just had the Mott Library that went a different direction. We turned around on the corner of Door and Upton, a space where a lot of young men were practicing football and soccer. That got taken away by a dollar store, which it's going to be closed, and then it'll just sit there as another item that is taking up green space. This has been a place that the neighborhood has cherished. This neighborhood and community has cherished this. They every year come out and celebrate. If you go out, the party starts on Thursday and it don't end till sometime late Sunday. Tents, everything. It's a great time. I think that this is an opportunity to show the connection between TPS and the community. For years, the dollars of the taxpayers is what has supported Toledo Public Schools. It has caused the maintenance of this property to be taken care of, even though there was no building there. And I think it's only fair that this will go back to this community that loves this property so much, that loves this area, that loves this community. It gives our seniors somewhere to walk. It gives those kids across the street at that daycare somewhere to play. It gives young men somewhere to practice. And one of the things I hope to do upon winning District 1 seat is that district improvement funds that I have accessible to me through District 1, I would like to then take that and use those funds to create a park there. So the worrying about what this would look like afterwards and how it would be maintained, I can take district improvement funds and sit down with Miss Rosa and Miss Tina Nelson, who we talked a ton on the phone, and we can design a park and we can make this a proud space that Toledo Public Schools can say, hey, we had a part in that. Nothing against Goodwill, but I don't know anybody at Goodwill. I don't know where Goodwill has put a thumbprint on this community in shape, form, or fashion. And so why would we go to another corporate entity when we have a chance to show back to the very children that we educate every day what this community means to them? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. That's our last community speaker, but we are now at organizational input, and it is spring break, so we're not expecting to see a students or parent Congress representative. But Mr. Emilio Ramirez from TAP is with us, if you would like to make comments.
Thank you, Tony and Mike. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, and Happy Break.
Thank you. Comments by the board? Section 5.
My only comment is to congratulate again Ms. Varwick on her becoming OSBA president, and to wish everybody a happy holidays.
Mrs. Bartley.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the Old Orchard students for their presentation tonight. I always love seeing children representing our district, and it gives us a little sample of what's going on out in our schools here at the boardroom. I'd also like to congratulate our retirees. Without them, this district would not run, so we certainly appreciate them. And then I know Representative Sebecki is on her way out, but I would just like to thank her for this honor tonight. Was not expecting it, so you guys kept it very hush-hush. But I certainly appreciate it. We have come a long way, and started out, yes, when our kids were younger, and it means a lot that I look back on the years and see where we were moms on a mission and where we're at now. And where it's headed. So I'm pretty excited about what's to come with OSBA. And then just as a side note, I want everyone to know that the chess tournament will still be happening, even though it will not be me. It pains me to say that, but because I'm going to be so busy next year, the Woodburys at Jones Leadership Academy have chosen to take that on. And I'm so happy that they're going to do that. And I look forward to what they'll bring to the table, and the tradition will continue then, the 18th year, since we had to take a 2-year hiatus. And I look forward to hopefully being there on that chess tournament day. Otherwise, happy holidays, everyone. I certainly appreciate everything that you've done this year, President Gerken. We certainly appreciate you taking a leadership role, as you as well, Vice President Sheena Barnes. We appreciate it. It's not always easy being in the leadership positions, but we certainly, I thank you for standing up and leading the way for this board. And I look forward to the coming year. So another opportunity with OSBA to represent our district and, represent school boards overall in the state of Ohio in public education. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, also, we want to thank Old Orchard Elementary students for our presentation of the Pledge of Allegiance, and to our retirees, appreciative of them as well for the years of service that they had. I want to say congratulations again to Mrs. Varwig, and we are so excited because we believe that OSBA is in great hands with someone in leadership as yourself, who continues to be consistent in all that you do as it relates to fighting for our students in education. So again, we are excited about next month, your official inauguration and things of such, and the food that will come with that as well. So just really excited about that opportunity. I want to say thank you to Mrs. Gerken and to Ms. Barnes for your leadership this year. As Ms. Warwick stated, it is challenging to be in leadership roles, but to be able to stand and be strong in your statements and your stance as it relates to public education and the attacks that have come consistently against us. You both have led the way and been the light, so I appreciate and thank you both. Happy holidays to all of you. I had the privilege of going to Grove Patterson's musical at the Y on Tremainsville Road, and it was packed to capacity. Parents support, teachers support, staff. It was a great time. And also, I heard that Santa board member visited our preschoolers here at the Summit, and also our infant and toddlers. Some of them enjoyed Santa, some of the other ones not so much, but it was a great time to be able to share and to see their faces as they received gifts, and just had time of just enjoying life. So have a safe holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you again in the new year.
Ms. Barnes.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to thank my colleagues. Thank you for supporting me, pouring into me, uplifting me, encouraging me to get into good trouble when need to be, most of all the time. Thank you, Dr. Durant, for all your support and listening to all my rants, and letting me learn as a vice president. I appreciate you all, and also my children for continuing to let me serve in this capacity for our district, for their district. And I'm just so proud of you, Chris, from parent to parent, TPS proud parent is amazing. And you always will continue to inspire me, but I don't know if I want to do all that, but but I do appreciate, just the love you have for our district as a parent, and to see a board majority active parents and some grandparents in some way. I mean, this is what, parents' choice is, hint, hint. Anyway, as a community organizer, someone who is involved in our community, I just want to say right now, we need to make sure we uplift each and every one. This week was really hard. Past week was really hard. And my heart is really with the families that have lost nationally and locally as well. And I want to encourage everybody to stick together, but also make sure when you're showing up is not just for yourself. When you're showing up is for others, and you continue to follow up, because we as a district is going to need people to show up and support. because of the challenges that we're facing at a state level, they want to pretty much take away public schools. So we have to make sure that as parents, guardians, community members, leaders, neighbors, that we are showing up when we need to, and making noise when we need to as well, because if we don't, we won't have public schools to do that at. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish that our friends from the Dorsey Core neighborhood could have stayed a few moments. I know it's kind of awkward when they're doing official comments and we have to limit the time because it's part of our policy. But what I would like to have said to them in my comments opportunity is that I'm proud of them too. And I am very happy to have a passionate group of parents and community members come to us with something positive that they're trying to accomplish and something that is meaningful to them that they're trying to accomplish. And it is so much different than the types of attacks that we're used to from the state when our own community is trying to show us what's important to them. It's something that I do appreciate, welcome, and I'm proud of them for that. And I wish I could say that to them, even though the actual official presentation sometimes can be awkward when we're limited to the 3 minutes and the lack of opportunities to interact. I do thank them for their passion and their willingness to take this as far as they have in order to make a vision come true for them. I also want to thank the administration for a good year. I think that if we reflected on those things that were actually within our control, those things, setting aside the continual battle and distraction from the state on the assault on public education as they endeavor to dismantle it, and I believe that. I think that when we reflect on those things we control, this district has just accomplished so much, and we continue to grow and show out and prove that true school choice lies right here in Toledo Public Schools. So I wanted to thank you for job well done to you and your administration, and of course to my colleagues. I think we've proven that that we're here to support Dr. Durant's vision, but at the same time, dotting the I's and crossing the T's and holding the district accountable to the rest of the community. So I think it has been a good year, and I think we should congratulate ourselves, even though what's happening outside our control is depressing, to say the least, and we've gotten a little bit overwhelmed with those distractions. It's still appropriate to congratulate ourselves for how well for a year well done. We've done a good job, and of course, Chris. Mrs. Barwick, your coronation is coming up, I think, on January 7th. I like calling it that because I'm very excited to see you officially sworn in as the president of OSBA for all the reasons that it brings, it makes us proud to have a leader here among us at the state level, but also because there's some important work to be done at OSBA in terms of bringing the needs of urban school districts to the forefront. And I know that you will be relentless in making sure that as much light is shown on those issues specific to big city school districts as need to be brought to bear. And of course, I do wish everyone a wonderful holiday season and hope folks get some rest and get ready for coming back together in 2023. Are there any other comments from the board? Okay, then I believe that brings us to our business of the day. Section 6 is the consent agenda. We have items 6.02 through 6.52. They are on the consent agenda. Board members may request to pull them if needed, and they will be placed in the discussion section of the agenda. 6.01 to 6.07 are the Human Resources, Staff Development and Training Committee items. That committee is co-chaired by myself, Polly Gerken, and Mr. Randall Parker. Items 6.08 to 6.16 are the Finance and Business Operations Committee agenda items, co-chaired by Bob Vasquez and Chris Barwig. Item 6.17 is the Technology Improvement and Process Committee. There are no action items this month. That committee has been chaired and co-chaired by me and Mr. Bob Vasquez. Item 6.18, or I should say, Board Curriculum and Instruction Academic Excellence Committee does not have action items this month. That is a committee that's co-chaired by me and Mrs. Chris Barwig. Item 6.19 to 6.47 come to us from the Policy Committee. That committee is co-chaired by Sheena Barnes and Bob Vasquez. 6.48 is the Arts, Athletics, and Student Activities Committee. There are no action items this month. That committee is chaired and co-chaired by Mrs. Barwig and Mr. Parker. 6.49 and 6.50 are the Family and Community Engagement Committee. Mr. Bob Vasquez and Sheena Barnes co-chair that. 6.15 and 6.52 are approval of board meeting minutes. I would request a motion to approve this consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Ms. Barnes and Mr. Vasquez, I believe. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Barwick,
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken.
Yes. Section 7 of our agenda consists of reports and minutes from this month's committee meetings are here for information and reference. No action is required. We can proceed to Section 8. We do have an item for the discussion section. That's 8.01, renewal of institutional memberships resolution for fiscal year 23. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Barnes, seconded by Mr. Parker. Seeing no discussion, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Barwick,
Abstain.
Mr. Vasquez,
Abstain.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken.
Yes. Okay, and I've seen something on the agenda that I didn't see before. I think that 8.02 is for the organizational meeting. That doesn't belong on this.
No, it's easier to appoint a president pro tem this
No.
evening, and then they'll be in charge of the
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, so we would like to request a motion to approve a president pro tem. Do we usually have the treasurer do that? Right? Okay, so I'll just make the motion that our treasurer open our organizational meeting as president pro tem. I need a second. I need a second, yeah.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. And then you can call the roll.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Barwick,
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken.
Yes. Okay, so that brings us to establishing the date for the organizational meeting. So that makes sense that we did the pro tem beforehand, so we can roll right in. I believe we usually do that first Thursday after the break. And if everybody has their calendars, we could double check and make sure that January the 5th can work for an organizational meeting. 5:30? 5:30, good? Yeah. Okay, so I think that answers that question. We don't need to vote on that. Right, or do we? We do not. We're just establishing that. Okay, I got it. So TBS organizational meeting, 5:30. The treasurer will open that meeting as pro tem and get us moving on our reorganization. And then section 9, are we good? Okay, section 9 is walk-ins. Are there any walk-ins? I don't believe we are.
No, not this evening.
Okay, section 10, we do have, go ahead, early childhood. Ms. Barnes.
Dr. Amy Allen, make sure I'm correct. We have no action items. We're all good, Madam President.
Okay, then section 11 are the monthly reports that come to us from the early childhood committee that we would all want to review at our convenience. No walk-ins either from early childhood. Thank you. Section 13, we have comments from the superintendent.
A few congratulations again, Miss Barwick. Feels like just yesterday you're trying to convince you to run the school board, and now look at you running OSBA. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to Ms. Myers. I remember from day one as an assistant superintendent, truly appreciated her work ethics, as well as her loyalty to the community, students, and staff, which had convinced me to ask her to be the principal at Bowser. You can imagine her face, right? Then turn around and seeing what she did at Bowser to be in the position she is today. And I think Mrs. Gerkins worded it all too well. She is kind of the jack of all trades. When there's something up in the air, just have Ms. Myers do it. And she does it with honor and pleasure. And again, appreciation and thank you for what you have done for the district. And I know you're still going to stay involved, so thank you. The other thing is, thank you for coming out to the Career Tech Expo. Great outing. I heard nothing about it. I mean, LinkedIn and others have commented heavily on it, and really has had a huge impact. Also want to thank the board members and the fellow cabinet leaders and district members coming out to the Hall of Fame for myself. If you know, I'm kind of private and I keep those things. I never tell people, and you showed up in support, and I even feel bad because I didn't even tell my parents. And you know, it's just how I am, but and they know that. But you know, again, thank you. I want to again thank you as board members. I tell you, you truly don't get that you are probably one of the best teams out there. When I go to a Ohio 8 meeting or go to a local superintendent meeting, if you have any idea what's going on with their board, and that makes you appreciate even more what we have here. I mean, I just got to Ohio 8 meeting. We got 2 superintendents leaving. Done. You know, done. And that's just devastating to those districts, you know, because it's difficult to rebound with change of leadership over and over and over. And so, true appreciation. And with that said, again, happy holidays and TPS proud. Thank you.
Mr. Treasurer, comments?
Just a few tonight. In the lame duck session, they passed a few bills. 2 of them that will affect the finances will have our disadvantaged pupil impact aid. It should be increasing. We haven't seen all the final details yet. And then transportation is the other area that should be increasing. They'll release the details. So in case you don't know, they passed this like at 5 a.m. in the morning after a very long marathon session. So it always makes us a little nervous because when they're on their own doing what they're doing, they don't always know what's the effect on the actual school districts. I would like to echo Dr. Durant's comments on you really don't know how appreciative we are working with the board when we hear our colleagues speak at the Ohio League and the issues that they're having with their board. It's quite interesting sometimes. And then happy holidays to everyone.
Board members, any other comments?
Yes, you know, I kind of totally forgot that the organizational meeting, that leadership's going to change. I just thought we were just rolling right along. That's how functional we are. Never even crossed my mind. But I do want to thank you for your leadership, and I think that I know that the leadership is the example and the people or individuals who make us a functional board. And to Dr. Durant's point, Mr. Schulte's point, it's the leadership that leads us, makes us functional. And we're so functional, I just thought we were going to roll right along. So thank you both for your leadership. It's greatly appreciated.
Okay, and first of all, Dr. Durant, I was going to, in my final comments, congratulate you on your athletics award. I will say, you can't see my mouth, but my mouth was wide open when you said you didn't tell your mom and dad. Who does that? Oh my gosh. So I won't scold you. They can scold you. I will say, Linda Myers, again, this is the woman that started my pathway toward being on the board and all that fun stuff. But Ms. Myers, you truly have impacted so many lives in this district. And I know you know that. And you, I mean, just the stories from the students, you know, I hear and I run into throughout the years, and you've made a difference. And truly, we are so grateful to have had you in this district. I first met Mrs. Myers at Beverly Elementary when my daughter was there. And, she roped me into I don't know how many doing other things. Whether it was, the chess club or whether it was daisies or whether it was, oh, just come be a playground monitor. Okay. So whatever she asked, you just did because it was for the benefit of all. And that's how she's been throughout her career. So I certainly thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have made a true impact on this district and the lives of students in this community. So thank you. And this is not going to be the last, right? We'll give her some time off for a while. So congratulations on your retirement, though. I certainly appreciate it. And my one final comment is, while the Ohio State Board of Education passed their resolution that we are completely opposed to, I will say this, and it's very difficult for me to say positive about the legislature down in Ohio. So when they do something good, even in lame duck, I have to say it. I'm glad they didn't pass the important bills that they were going to. And I will call out even Representative Marin, who voted against one of those bills that they wanted to pass. So while I don't know why they did what they did, I'm glad that maybe it was dysfunction, maybe it was a power grab. I don't know why, but I'm just glad it happened. So I will at least recognize the fact that they did that. And I'm appreciative of maybe a focus on public education. And that's truly what we should all be about. And again, let's find the purple. So happy holidays.
No further comments. Happy holidays again, everyone.
Thank you, Madam President. I forgot to say happy holidays. I was just talking and talking. I forgot the holidays was coming up. I still waiting on an Amazon order. Sorry, that was fast. Yeah. It's kind of the end of the year. I just realized this is the last board meeting for this year. And I'm always, I think it's very important to give flowers when you're supposed to. And so I didn't buy them because I have paid money on my Amazon order. So I will do it with words. Dr. Jeffrey Martins, thank you so much for your leadership in diversity, equity, inclusion. Thank you for always being there to help me learn and grow. I appreciate you. Miss Amy Natashak, thank you for calling me in several hundred times. And actually helping me learn legal terms as a board member and understand my role better. I do appreciate you. Joe, I know, thank you because you have helped us out when we, need it. And I appreciate you because I don't know what all you do, but I know you're always busy. So, so I appreciate that. Miss Myers, I'm going to call you 100 times. You have not gotten rid of me because you retired. I don't care. I'm going to talk to you later because you're not getting rid of me. Emilio, thank you for always showing up and supporting our board. Thank you for your information emails. I feel connected more when I know more, so thank you. I appreciate that. Bob Vasquez, board member, thank you for helping me grow and see the light. Where I'm from, we call them old heads, and you are my old head. I appreciate you for keeping the truth and helping me grow as a board member, as a person, as a leader. I appreciate you. Board member Varwig, thank you for getting in good trouble with me and letting me rant and showing me there's always more we could do as parents, as community leaders, especially in the good for public education. Board member Parker, my brother, thank you so much I know you pray for me and you pour into me and you let me be vulnerable when challenges are hard as a leader. And I appreciate that. I want you to know that. Madam President, thank you so much for being who you are and helping me grow as a leader. I appreciate you so much. Ryan, I ain't gonna say your last name because it's hard still. Thank you for doing what you do and helping me learn finances better. And thank you for, being awesome in the district, for making us, have money to do what our teachers and our staff need to do. Without you, we couldn't run. So I appreciate you because I don't know numbers. So thank you. Dr. Durant, thank you so much for just making TPS feel like home for my children and me as a parent. Bambino always tell me I gotta call you when I'm in trouble. But I appreciate you that my sons feel connected to you, not just as the superintendent, but they feel that you're family, and you do that throughout the school district. I appreciate that, and it's inspiring, and I literally get clout now. When I went to Orchard and I was telling them what I do, they didn't have a clue. And I said, "Oh, I'm Dr. Durant's boss." And they're like, "Oh, you're cool now." So thank you. I have clout because of you. Gant's not here, but I appreciate him for doing all the behind the scenes work. And I want to take the time out to say thank you to our American Sign Language interpreters. I think this piece is really important, and I am so happy. Next year, I'm hoping we can get Spanish translators as well for our board meetings. Hint, hint. Miss Reed, we just started, but baby, about to roll into next year. Thank you so much for just rolling with the punches. You know what? I don't know your name. I'm so sorry. But no, I know your name is Reed. I'm talking about, what's your name? Mike, thank you, because you help us get the board going. So I appreciate you. And so these two queens right here, we can't do nothing. Nothing happens without these. Don't be looking around. Y'all can't see on the camera, but she looking around. These two queens, thank you so much. You are a joy to be around. You have beautiful spirits, and you are always saying, "Okay, what can I do?" I appreciate you. Brian, thank you for being a Wolverine fan. No, I'm just playing. He's not a Wolverine fan, but thank you so much for allowing me to grow as well as a board member, and I appreciate you. Thank you, because you started just new, but we're gonna roll again. Like I said, we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll into this. Dr. Amy, thank you so much for just helping me on our committees and teaching me and showing me all different kind of graphics. I appreciate it. Now I have my Wolverine fan for real at the end. So we gon' like, I'm making everybody Wolverine fans. They're really not. Okay, I know I took a lot of time, but I think it was important to our staff. Well, not our staff, it's actually Creole staff back there. Thank you for allowing us to stream the boards to those families who may have transportation barriers. And thank you for just being here each time for us. Okay, so I'm done now.
Appreciations are appreciated, right? Okay. I counted, you appreciated 22 people. So you did a good job. Yeah, you did a good job. Yeah. Well done. Appreciations really are appreciated. So I thank you. No, thank you. I just want to say happy holidays to everyone. And again, congratulations on a good school year. And I think that's really all I have. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Treasurer, call the roll.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Mrs. Barwick,
Yes.
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken.
Yes. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.